Saginaw Valley State University Math and Physics Resource Center online. This video is for Math 082, and it's going to show you how to factorize trinomials with a leading coefficient of 1. All trinomials are going to have a base form of ax squared plus bx plus c. But when it has a leading coefficient of 1, it's not going to have that a there. It's just going to be 1x squared. With that a not there, it's going to make things a little different, because that way we're only going to be finding things that multiply into c. So you'd be finding all the factors of c and seeing which combination of those two adds to b. For example, take the trinomial x squared plus 7x plus 12. With this, we're going to find what two factors multiply into 12 and then add to be 7, a positive 7. So since this middle is positive and this is positive, we're going to need to find two numbers that multiply to become a positive, which is either going to be two negatives or two positives. In this case, they need to add to be a positive. So we know that both the numbers that multiply into 12 need to be positive. So now let's list those factors of 12. So to start off our factors of 12, we know 1 times 12 is 12. Another set of factors is going to be 2 and 6. Another would be 3 and 4. After that, there's no more. So now we need to find which combination of these two is going to add to become 7. So we know 12 plus 1 is 13. 2 plus 6 is 8. And 3 plus 4 is 7. There's our winner. So that means we know the two factors we're going to be using are going to be 3 and 4. That means the new form we're going to get is going to be x plus 3, because we established they both need to be positive, and x plus 4. And that's going to be our final solution. In this example, we're going to try x squared minus 18x plus 80. Now, we're going to start by looking at the signs, positive and negative. So, since the 80 is positive, our c term is positive, that means we're going to need two numbers that are going to multiply to be positive, which means both numbers are either going to be negative or both numbers are going to be positive. So when we list the factors, we're going to need to see, are they both going to be positive or both going to be negative? Well, to know that, we're going to look at this sign right here. Since this sign is negative, we know that they're going to need to add to be negative. So if these were both positive, there's no way that they would add to be a negative. Therefore, both factors of 80 need to be negative. So let's start listing the factors. So we know negative 1 and negative 80. We know negative 2 and negative 40. Negative 4 and negative 20. Negative 5 and negative 16. Negative 8 and negative 10. So now we're going to add them all together. And we're going to see which of these pairs of factors are going to add to be this negative 18 here. So negative 1 plus negative 80, that's going to give us negative 81. Negative 2 plus negative 40, that's going to give us a negative 42. Negative 4 plus negative 20, that's going to give us a negative 24. Negative 5 plus negative 16, that's giving us a negative 21. And negative 10 plus negative 8 is going to be negative 18. There we go. There's our winner. There's our winning combination. So that means our two factors are going to be negative 8 and negative 10. So let's write it out in the factored form. So in the factored form, that's going to look like x minus 8 times x minus 10. And that is going to be our final factored form. Now let's look at another example. Our next example is going to be x squared plus 4x minus 32. So our next example is x squared plus 4x minus 32. First thing we're going to do, like we've been, is look at the signs. So our c term, our last term, is negative. Therefore, it's either going to have to be a negative. It's going to have to be a negative times a positive in order to get a negative. That means, and they're going to have to add to be positive, which means that the larger number is going to have to be positive. Because if you have a larger positive number plus a smaller negative number, it's going to add to be positive because it always takes the sign of the larger number. So now let's list the factors of 32, keeping in mind that the larger number is going to have the positive sign. So factor of 32, we know 1 and 32. We know the larger number will have to be positive, therefore the 1 would be negative. Our next set of factors of 32 are going to be 2 and 16. And since we know the larger number needs to be positive, we're going to add the negative onto the 2. Our next set of factors will be negative 4 and 8, because again, positive needs to be larger. And those are all our factors. So now that we've listed all our factors, we're going to do negative 1 plus 32, and that's going to give us a positive 31. We're going to do negative 2 plus 16, that's going to give us a positive 14. And negative 4 plus 8, that is going to give us a positive 4. All right, we found our winner. It is going to be negative 4 plus 8. So that means our two factors are going to be negative 4 and positive 8. So our final factored solution is going to look like x minus 4 times x plus 8. And that's it. Thank you so much for checking out this video on the Saginaw Valley State University Math and Physics Resource Center help page.